Whatever you say. All right, our program today is Early Childhood Coalition. Peggy Emde and Amy Hardin are speakers. Peggy is a retired Childhood Development Program Director and faculty member with NOC. She's been part of various organizations as well as boards in the community. Peggy's entire career has been in early childhood field, having been a preschool teacher, child care owner-director, and a family advocate. She's a longtime Stillwater resident and been a member of the coalition from the beginning. Amy Hardin, somebody I know pretty well, was most recently a pediatrician with SMC Pediatrics. Prior to that, she was a pediatric ICU physician with Norton Children's Hospital in Louisville, Le Bonheur Children's Hospital in Memphis, and St. Jude Children's Hospital in Memphis. She retired about 2 years ago and now works in the community to improve children's health and safety. Welcome, Amy and Peggy.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having us today. We always get excited when we get this platform that we can talk about what's near and dear to our heart. The Early Childhood Coalition, we're a nonprofit here in town, and our goal is to foster community efforts in promoting healthy growth and development in young children and families. We work with various community agencies, which Our Daily Bread is one of our recent partners, which we're excited about, and which Amy will talk about a little bit more. Our main goal has always been to address gaps in services that we see here in Stillwater. Some of the things that we have done in the past to do that, we were the agency or the people that went to the Infant Crisis Center in Oklahoma City, talked with them, and they agreed to start bringing the baby mobile to Stillwater and some of the surrounding areas. I don't know if you're familiar with the baby mobile. It parks now primarily at Our Daily Bread. It has diapers, it has formula, food, and they provide outreach services for those in need here in Stillwater. Before that, we had a grant that from the Evolution Foundation in Oklahoma City, and we did the buying the diapers, the formula, and so forth, and we tried to distribute it. Many times we would take it to Our Daily Bread, but the infant mobile is great where it comes directly to Stillwater. We were the partner with the Stillwater Library for the Story Walk, which was at Couch Park, which families could take their children and do the story walk, and they would learn about the story and different activities that would enhance that. We're a partner with Resilient Payne County, which many of you know, and then the Payne County Health Department. We are also a partner with Resilient Payne County, I'll back up, with the Healthy Communities, Healthy Children, which are looking at other problems or needs here in Stillwater. Part of it is just understanding the importance of early childhood and the impact that it has, not only just for young children and their families, but the impact that it has to all of us. Over years and years, we've had so much research that shows the return on investment, if you want to look at it from an economic standpoint, is typically about upwards of 13% money that you put into early childhood. We have research that shows that if children and families have a positive environment, a positive home life, a positive basically existence, long term you're going to have fewer children in special services, special education. You're going to have a reduction in incarceration later in life. About 25 or so years ago, Kaiser Permanente did a large study. They just couldn't figure out why there was a segment of the population that had so many health and mental health issues, and they called it the ACEs study, which is the Adverse Childhood Experiences. And they showed that if you were raised in an environment with these adverse conditions, this could be a parent that was incarcerated, poverty, hunger, etc., You had a much higher risk of health issues, especially heart disease and cancer, and of course, in the mental health issues also. So it really is an economic issue for us. Lower, just think about what you can invest in early childhood versus the criminal justice system. How much it costs a year to house a person in the penitentiary is astronomical. So we always want to point that out. Excuse me. Not just children will do better, but this is a lifelong situation. We have a lot of research that started back in the 70s, and it shows that those that were in quality early childhood experiences, environments, homes, etc., they're still tracking those kids at this point. They have a higher rate of a graduation from high school. They have a higher rate of going on to higher ed, either college or technical schools. So it really is a cyclical effect. It's a generational effect that we want to start changing. Amy is going to talk about our most current project, the Building a Better Brain project, and what we're doing for that.
Okay, there we are. My husband accuses me of giving somebody a drink of water from a fire hose. So there'll be some skipped parts here and there, but I can give you much more if you ever want to talk, okay? So we're going to talk about some basic scientific facts of brain development, because we know more now about the developing brain than we ever have before. I didn't know very much in medical school about this stuff, but the data that's come out is amazing. Healthy Steps, which is a program at the Stillwater Pediatrics and Internal Medicine Pediatric Clinic, and Building a Better Brain. So from 0 to 5, okay, the brain develops more extensively and more rapidly than any other time in our lives. And by the age of 3, you've got 80% of your brain formed. And by the age of 5, you got 90%. So if we don't do anything early, you're going to miss out on an opportunity, because once these neurons are formed, the synapses are formed, it's done. So Elliot here is just making synapses left and right. There's 1 million new neural connections made every second during this first 5 years, and even connections that are needed for executive functioning, like remembering your doctor's appointment and being able to balance your checkbook. Elliot's working on those too. Now, I want to show you this, okay, because I think it's pretty cool. And it says things better than I can. But here, I don't know. Maybe there? Oh, there we go. This comes from Harvard, and it's where a lot of the data is coming out of. It's 4 minutes, not gonna, or actually it's just 1 minute and 56 seconds, so don't freak out.
A child's experiences during the earliest years of life have a lasting impact on the architecture of the developing brain. Genes
He told me there would be buffering issues, and I told him that was fine.
provide the basic blueprint, but experiences shape the process that determines whether a child's brain will provide a strong or weak foundation for all future learning, behavior, and health. During this important period of brain development, billions of brain cells called neurons send electrical signals to communicate with each other. These connections form circuits that become the basic foundation of brain architecture. Circuits and connections proliferate at a rapid pace and are reinforced through repeated use. Our experiences and environment dictate which circuits and connections get more use. Connections that are used more grow stronger and more permanent. Meanwhile, connections that are used less fade away through a normal process called pruning. Well-used circuits create lightning-fast pathways for neural signals to travel across regions of the brain. Simple circuits form first, providing a foundation for more complex circuits to build on later. Through this process, neurons form strong circuits and connections for emotions, motor skills, behavioral control, logic, language, and memory during the early critical period of development. With repeated use, these circuits become more efficient and connect to other areas of the brain more rapidly. While they originate in specific areas of the brain, the circuits are interconnected. You can't have one type of skill without the others to support it. Like building a house, everything is connected, and what comes first forms a foundation for all that comes later.
So this is a different way to visualize the brain development. You see, Elliot is already up to a month, so you can see how many neurons he's developed in that period of time. At 9 months, there's even more. At 2 years, there's tons of them, and you start to notice that some of them are thicker, okay, and they've been used more, and so they're faster circuits. And then as you get to be an adult, you've got fewer neurons, but the ones you use all the time have been reinforced over your many years of life. This is a normal brain on your left and an abused brain on the right. And the abuse is neglect. It's not like someone took somebody and shook them. They just neglected them. It's in a Romanian orphanage, okay? And Tim likes this one because he likes all the colors, I think. But if it's black, that's the least active part. And you can see in the circles, those are temporal lobes with feeling and emotion and that sort of thing. The kids who were neglected don't really even have temporal lobes to work with, okay? And so it's that significant that the brain may look the same, but it doesn't function the same. And that's because it just wasn't used back when it was supposed to be. So from lab to life, parental beliefs and cultures often are in a family history. That's why lots of this stuff seems cyclical. If your parents didn't do a great job parenting you, you don't really have a model for how to parent your kids. And I'm sure you all know people who are raising their grandchildren because the parents aren't doing a great job. It's all cyclical. Early cognitive gaps, early, like at 2 years of age. If you look at two kids, you can tell who's going to learn and who's not going to learn. And if we started, Head Start, okay? That was 4. That was a little too late. Then we started early Head Start. That's not really early enough either, because those are kids who are 3. So we've got to really step back and really work on this. And so that's where we're working on programs called Healthy Steps. There's a national program called The Basics Incorporated, and then our newest program of Building a Better Brain. And we're working on trying to get those gaps to diminish. This year, people in the Stillwater Public Schools who had kindergartners come in, they're seeing after COVID that some of those kids can't self-regulate their emotions. If you can't self-regulate your emotions, you can't learn. If you're nonverbal, which they actually had a couple of kids who weren't verbal, you can't learn. All right? They had a few kids who weren't potty trained when they went to kindergarten. So there's a problem, and we're working to fix that. We're going to skip that. Early childhood experiences impact long-term things. So your brain architecture, your kindergarten readiness, your lifetime success. Cognitive skill gaps, I told you, are evident by age 2, and strong guidance exists relating to the needs of young children. 0 to 3 is a national nonprofit that provides information for parents, professionals, and policymakers, and they have the knowledge and the know-how to help people nurture early development. And their mission is to ensure that all babies and toddlers have a strong start in life. Babies and toddlers, that's who we're working on here. So what's needed? There are people who are early childhood development specialists, just like Peggy was, and other people are. You need to help people foster healthy child development and lifelong well-being through a social-emotional approach, a language and literacy approach, cognition, as well as perceptual, motor, and physical development. So it's an all-around approach. And you need an evidence-based program and that has the capacities and the skills developed during this critical period to become the basis of a prosperous society. Okay? That's what you guys want. You're business people. You want a prosperous society. Well, if you don't invest in children, you're not going to get one. Where could you do this? Where do you get your most children? Well, 90% of the families go to a pediatrician's office. Okay? 12 to 13 well child checks occur in the first 3 years of life. So you see the kids often, and you see their families because they can't drive themselves. All income levels come in, those with private insurance, those on Medicaid, the CHIP, Children's Health Insurance Plan, and those without insurance can come in, especially to the health department, and get free services. Tends to be positive, tends to be relational, okay? You probably remember the pediatrician for your children, okay, if not your own pediatrician. It's a trusted source of information, as much as anything can be. But a well child visit lasts about 15 minutes. Well, I've just told you all the stuff we're supposed to do, and I'm still supposed to talk about immunizations and make sure you don't have a heart murmur and yada, yada, yada. 15 minutes is not very long. So Healthy Steps is a program that came out of 0 to 3, okay? And they piloted 2 sites in '95, increased to 15 national sites, and then they followed these kids, and they found that there were benefits for the child, the family, and the provider. The child got support for perceptual, motor, and physical development, one of those things I told you we had to work on. It strengthens early social emotional development, okay, which again is important if you're going to regulate your emotions, and it promotes timely and continued care. If you have a relationship with that child development specialist, you're going to come back, if not because you want to talk to your pediatrician, you're going to want to talk to the child development specialist. It improves family health because you're involving the family in all of this, and it supports a child's early learning and well-being. And for the provider, this is what I can talk to specifically, the patients and families have a better experience. The provider is more satisfied and likely to stay in practice longer, and it lowers healthcare costs. Now, I'm going to skip this, which was a video you can find on Stillwater Medical's place. It's about our early childhood program. Tracy Hamilton is our early childhood specialist, and we're getting another specialist through our Daily Bread, and they're going to be working half-time at our Daily Bread, and the rest of the time that they have free will be at our clinic. And so I'm thrilled about having another person. Yeah, we're going to skip that. So now on to our next issue, because we're running short on time, and this is the one I am passionate about. So building a better brain, okay? They come like this, and it's a great way to start humans because they're really cute, okay? But often parents are like, what do you mean I have to start now, okay? The highest rate of return in early childhood development comes from investing as early as possible from birth through age 5 in disadvantaged families. Okay, if we haven't gotten anything else across, that's one thing we want to get across. In Boston, there's a group of people, and they looked at the data coming out of Harvard, and they started the basics, and they came up with a strategy for everyone in the community to learn the same language and the same approach, so that if you're seeing a hairdresser, or you're at line in the post office, or you're in the grocery shop, everybody knows how to help a kid learn, okay? This is not rocket science, okay? And I want to use their video because it's best.
I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me?
Learning
kids are
begins
cute.
the moment your child is born.
Baby, baby, baby.
Do you want to play too?
Every child is filled with vast potential for success in life. And those first 3 years can have the greatest impact on your child's learning.
Over here, with the wheels. We're gonna push this, and then they all spin. Ooh.
Wow, awesome job.
It's all about giving a child a proper start That's what being a parent is all about.
Lo estás haciendo, amor, lo haces.
I wanted to make sure that I was here every day. Such a joy.
Every parent of every background can make a positive difference in their child's life.
It's peeling. Boom.
A few simple, everyday activities can make a big difference. That's why The Basics is working with research and community leaders to promote an important new initiative.
2. Good job. 3.
The Basics are 5 simple principles that we want everyone to know. The first of the basics is to maximize love and manage stress. The second is to talk, sing, and point.
Let's take a bath, a lovely bubbly bath.
The third is to count, group, and compare.
1, 2, 3.
The fourth is to encourage and enable movement in space and play. And the fifth is to read, but not just to read. We want to read and discuss stories.
Whoa, what is that? A duck. What does the duck sound like?
These are the 5 fun and simple things that every parent can do beginning from birth.
Can you stop it? Orange and a yellow.
Let's all work together to make sure our children can become the best, most well-prepared they can possibly be.
Maximize love.
And manage stress.
Talk, sing,
And point.
Count, group,
Y compare. Explore through
movement, and play.
read.
And discuss stories. Please join us and help spread the word.
Okay, you didn't see electronics. You didn't see people sitting through a seminar. You didn't see, what else didn't you see? I don't know what I did, Kevin. Up there, there, there. Yes, that's what I want. So the Early Childhood Coalition, long before I got involved with them, has been working on this Building a Better Brain campaign. And they've been working on getting buy-in from the hospital, from the pediatricians, from lots of different people, from the nursery, from the nurses in the nursery. Then we started working on funding. We talked to the Noon Lions Club, the Morning Kiwanis Club, the Centennial Rotary Club, the Methodist Men's Group. You just didn't have room for me in your calendar early on. We got an Elite Repeat grant that helped with some of the board books. We got 2 Walmart Sparks Good grants that came from, one from the 6th Street Walmart and one from the Perkins Walmart. And so we have these brain bags, and Elliot has his own, just in case you wondered about that. So I'm going to keep one. Okay. Every baby born at SMC gets a bag. Okay.
That would be their parents get the bag.
Well, yeah. Okay. Whatever. Yes, it goes. You take the baby. You take a bag. Getting them given out has been a bit more of an issue than I thought it would be. But there's been, since May, there's been 176 given out. Obviously, there's been a lot more babies born. It has a congratulatory part here that talks about the importance of all the stuff I've just talked to you. It talks about the services that you can get from the Basics parent texting service. And if you want to know what the texts are like, Elliot, his parents are getting texts now twice a week. One that tells him what he should be doing right about this time because it's tied to his birthday, and one that tells them what they could be doing to help him be able to do that. Every newborn visit has a Basics insight that says your kid is doing this now, and this is what you can do, okay? We give them their newborn one, all right? There is a kitchen magnet, like you don't have enough kitchen magnets, but it's got all 5 of those things listed. So if you're getting a bottle out or you're getting something out of the fridge at 2 in the morning and you haven't sung to your child, this may help you sing to him the next time you change a diaper. There's a calendar that the Early Childhood Coalition puts out. This has things to do with kids of various ages. So it's not just newborns. And this came out from the Unite for Literacy group. It's a book that goes over the basics of what I just talked about, but if they scan this, it will read the book to them. So I tell them they can duplex, but it also does more. Everybody gets a toy. It's not all the same toy. They've got different colors. They make noise. They're all dishwasher safe in the top rack, so you can clean them up if they go in the dog's mouth. And everybody gets a book. And the nurses have accused me of wanting to teach 2-week-olds to read. That is not what I'm doing, okay? It gets them used to a book is a cuddly time with a parent. You can chew on it, you can turn the pages, you don't have to read it, you can just look at the pictures, but it's their first book, okay? And so that's what's in the bag. Now we're working on public education about this, so I talked to Stillwater Medical breastfeeding groups, birthing classes, sibling classes. I'm working on a flyer to put in OB offices. I want people to know about this. It's not an expensive purchase. It can be done during daily life. It can be done by anyone in your child's life who is willing to learn about the 5 areas. And little bits can be done daily over those first 5 years, okay? When you go to the grocery store, 1 can in the buggy, 2 cans in the buggy. These 2 cans are green, okay? That may not seem like much, but it's helping those synapses that are forming and growing, and that's what we need. Monty Carnes, I don't know if any of you know Monty, but he heard this in Methodist Men's Group, and he was walking out of Gallagher Arena, and there was a kid who was in front of him, and there were yellow dots all along the sidewalk. You know, they've been doing construction there. And the kid was looking at those, and Monty was like, well, what do you think those are? And the kid's like, I don't know. What color are they? They're yellow. How many of them are there? Let's count them. So they started counting dots on their way to the car, okay? He did that on his way to his car from a ball game. To a stranger. Well, they don't know. Don't know about that either. But to a total stranger. I've done it in line at the post office. When a mother was having issues getting a package, I entertained the child. You can do this in line at Walmart, okay? And you know, it's easy to do. So, I do. I have a great story about Costco, but that's another day. We're a United Way agency, so when you support them, you support us. This is our website and our email. We're looking for people who want to be involved in working groups. If you have a desire to help with this kind of thing, we would love to have you. If you have a desire to be a force that hears this kind of stuff and you want to sit on the board, we would be glad to have you. If you have money that's sitting in the middle of the table, we'd be glad to have that too. So I'll be around for longer, and I know I held you late and I'm sorry, but I'm kind of passionate about this stuff. Yeah.
We were going to do a table collection. I don't think Amy knew that.
No.
But what a great lead in. So please, this is such a worthwhile cause. I can't think of anything more important than babies. So please donate on the table and we'll collect them and give them to.
Thank you.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Amy, you said something to me early on that was really helpful, and it was about singing. And I think I said, I'm not a good singer.
You don't have to.
And you said it doesn't matter what you sing or how you sing, just sing. And trust me, there's times at 2 o'clock in the morning I've been singing America the Beautiful or something.
There you go. There you go.
What is it about singing that gets their attention? Because it does calm him down.
People learn fast. I have a friend who was in kindergarten, and she sang me a song that had every bone in the body listed, okay? I couldn't tell you every bone in the body, but she could. They've got another song that tells them everything on the periodic table. There's something about the song. Can you remember the Schoolhouse Rock songs? You may have, I don't know if you were old enough, but on Saturday morning cartoons, you know? Yeah, Bill on Capitol Hill, there you go. So there's just something about the music. There you go.
Tim, we have one more question over here. Do we have just a second?
Sure.
I just wonder about the music that was played earlier today. Would that have adverse impact?
No.
Somebody's still salty.
there has been nothing that has shown that a certain kind of music is more beneficial than any other kind of music. And so I've had kids who regularly listen to heavy metal in their house, and they're fine. You know, and classical music, that's fine. It really doesn't matter. So. Yeah.
One more quick story, and I promise I'll let you go. Monty Carnes, she mentioned, she talked about reading. You don't have to read children's books. You can read the newspaper. You can read the Wall Street Journal. Monty says he's reading to his grandson like, and there was a hostile takeover on Wall Street today. The kid's going, oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Amy, Peggy, thank you very much for your time.